Good morning, Don. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Hope everybody's doing good. I don't know if I'm going to do any X Files today. I want to play a little bit of Jim Breuer. Because I just feel like everybody that followed the Charlie Kirk thing is still really traumatized. So I was scrolling through the internet yesterday, and I don't know if you know who Jim Breuer is, but he's a stand-up comedian. But he just has a really good take on life in general. Because I've always liked his view on things, and he just has a really good video. And as I haven't watched the whole thing, but as I was watching through it, one thing that he said about the Charlie Kirk assassination, which happened on September 10th, right? We all know this, the day before 9/11. Is that a coincidence or not? But is this a coincidence or not? On 9/11, or excuse me, on September 10th, 3 hours after the Charlie Kirk assassination, our United States Congress, can you guys could probably already guess, they voted on something. What did they vote on the same day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated? Anybody want to guess? Congress voted on something huge 3 hours after Charlie Kirk was killed. These guys are absolute demons. There's a saying, and it goes, I don't know exactly how it goes, but it goes, how does it go? Let no crisis go unrewarded. Let no bad. I can't remember how it goes. Osada, did the bullet penetrate the gazebo as the shot was higher and couldn't see Charlie? Well, they say there's a muzzle flash, Don, at the same exact time of the pop. Sweet tea, hello. From like behind him to the right. So I'm not sure. But as I was just scrolling the internet yesterday, I came across him. So I'm just going to start playing this a little bit, and we can talk as he's playing. Hold on. Sorry about that music.
Hello. What's happening, YouTubers? We're live. This is Jim Breuer live. And before we even listen, we're going to get into some stuff tonight. We're going to get into a lot of stuff tonight. But let's there's a lot of directions to go tonight, okay? We're going to go after the obvious. We're going to talk about the obvious, but I want to take my time and really get into this. But right out of the gate, I would like to thank Israel for putting in $45 million of ads into YouTube. Thank you, Israel. Perhaps the first country in the world that spends money for a "We're a Nice Guy" campaign. Like what? This is, I'm not lying. Israel government signed a $45 million contract with Google for an extensive digital advertising campaign, which includes placing ads on YouTube, okay, and all this other stuff. And the purpose, here's the purpose. The campaign's messages are designed to counter mounting international criticism regarding the war in Gaza including reports of a man-made famine. So this is the first country in the world that I know of. And listen, this is not against the Jewish faith whatsoever. God bless you for having faith in whatever you're into. This has nothing against the people of Israel. You live there. All humans are blessed by Almighty God, in my opinion. What it is the Israeli government. This is so funny that they get together like, I don't know if you checked lately, but we're not doing good. People are they're not buying the, bombing.
Tommy, good morning. Yeah, he is the best. Good afternoon to you too. He's got a good take on this. And I forgot I didn't finish my thing. He tells us, he goes, you always got to look at, obviously we're all conditioned now. We know that there's a distraction somewhere when something big like this happens. But yeah, you guessed it. They voted to block the release of the Epstein files 3 hours after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. The U.S. Congress voted it down, and I looked it up. On September 10th. Let's see here. The Senate recently blocked an amendment that would have forced the Department of Justice to publicly release all Epstein files, voting it down 51-49. I asked them, when did they vote that down? You guessed it, September 10th.
Dan and bombing Qatar and bombing everywhere. It's not a good look. You know what I mean? We can only say we're defending for so long. So I got an idea. Why don't we buy ads in Google? Let's do it. Hey, everyone, we're Israel. We're good. There's some, what do you, we just want to tell you here in Israel, although rockets are going off, it's all good. We're here to help the world. We're after the bad guys. We're here for you, to let you know we're here for the good of humanity. That's what we're here to give this $45 million to YouTube. So thank you, Israel, for putting in that money for all the YouTube stuff. I cannot thank you enough. So if you see an ad and it's from Israel, thank them. Thank them. You think one person in their campaign? You think there was anyone in the promotion department going, maybe we should just stop bombing everywhere?
When you've got smoke-free satisfaction, you've got the freedom.
Nah, we got money. Isn't that money? $45 million. Well, once again, thank
100%, Don. The Chinese do this too, but this is on an arrogant, open level that we've never seen. I think the Chinese do it even worse. But it's proven. Here, let me ask ChatGPT something real quick. Does the CIA invest in movies? The CIA has an official Office of Public Affairs Entertainment Industry Liaison, which works with Hollywood. They don't invest money, but they consult on scripts, provide access, and sometimes request changes. So the CIA, this is open knowledge, okay? They've been, movies like Red Dawn, this says Zero Dark 30, Argo. It says during the Cold War, the CIA did secretly fund cultural projects, including journals, art shows, and films through front organizations like the Congress for Cultural Freedom. But anyway, this is nothing new. Lots of influence from other countries,
Thank you, Israel, for your contribution. So let's a lot of you are. This took me a while to really think about. Okay, this one, we're going to talk about the obvious of what happened last week. And listen, we're going to take away all the, there's people online, there's people saying, did you see, the guys would hand you, did you see this? Whatever the chatter is, here's where I'm begging you to just take a couple steps back, because you know how many messages I got? Be careful. Oh my God, be careful. Jim, be careful. This happened because it's freedom and blah, blah, blah. And anyone that wants to speak free, it's fear. Fear. Don't you think it's interesting that not only in America, but England, Australia, a lot of countries, for the first time in their history, Nepal just overthrown their government. The people did. We'll get into that. It's the first time that I can remember in my lifetime that people do not trust any news agency, and they're starting not to trust their own governments. And that pains me to say that even here. Yeah, no, I'm being honest. I'm a little skeptical. I know it was a couple years ago when they're like, we will determine who is essential. You will close all the businesses. We will determine who is essential. You call the Germans Nazis, but it was happening right here. Don't ever forget that. And every media outlet installed their fear. So I just find it, think about this.
And that's so true. We can't ever forget that, because they so did install fear. You couldn't walk into the fucking grocery store. Hey, where's your mask at? Put your fucking mask on, and then over the loudspeaker, like he's saying in the Hitler voice, I don't know about where you guys are at, but where I was at, you could not go in the grocery store without them saying, we're hiring for, during the COVID lockdown, we're hiring for whatever they were just constantly recruiting people for Instacart or, I don't know. It was just so fucking bizarre. I'm so thankful I didn't get any of those vaccinations. And I don't knock anybody that did, because they tricked a lot of people. I literally have been saying that the government is full of shit every day of my life since 2007 on a level that most people don't want to hear about. So when I heard about the vaccine, there's no fucking way I was taking that, especially after I got fired from my bullshit job as a bartender. I'm a nobody. I was like, it was so easy for me to say, fuck you, I ain't getting shit. Nobody even forced me to do it, because, I got fired from bartending, and then that's it. Maybe they could have forced us to do it to be on unemployment, but never seen Jim Breuer be serious and not look right, Sweet Tea. I think everybody's really traumatized by this. And, there's a lot of people that are still, like poor Candace Owens. I don't know if you've seen her show yesterday. It's hard not to fear the government right now. I mean, they are stone cold psychopaths, pedophile protectors. They literally voted, and he's going to talk about this too, they voted to block the Epstein files on September 10th, 3 hours after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. How many people knew this was going to happen? Why exactly did this happen? And Candace Owens' story with Bill Ackerman, the guy who's got $9 billion, and he had a secret meeting in the Hamptons, and there was all kinds of people there pressuring Charlie to speak more highly of Israel. Osada, let's see, let me put this on the screen. Don't you know about the media in the U.S., but hear nothing about the ongoings of Charlie or Epstein? Osada don't know about the media in the U.S., but wow, total suppression, huh, Don? You know, I just watched a video on X from a lady in Australia. I don't know what bank it was, but she tried to withdraw $20,000, and they wouldn't do it without an invoice. She was going to build on her house, but she didn't have invoices because she didn't pay for it yet. She needs some money. They won't give it to her. And then she's like, well, what if I wanted $10,000 just to go play at the casino and have a fancy dinner and just blow $10,000 at the casino one night, just treat myself. It's my money. And then she said the one teller looked at the other teller and they said, no, we wouldn't be able to allow you to do that. The most that they could give you without questions asked is $2,000 from the machine and $2,000 from a teller. So $4,000 per day, something like that. You know, it's, and with the new digital prisons that are coming, like the Riviera on the Gaza Strip, and they're all over the place. The social credit score, it's bad, you know. The world is amok, but this is why I like listening to this thing with Jim Breuer, because he kind of gets you away from it for a minute.
Just think about this. What's the most important part of your human existence?
Sorry, guys, commercial. I'm on it.
Your time, your energy, your love, your faith, all those things were attacked. And I don't care what side you lie on. This was in my opinion, this is the great monster. Sire, we have an issue. Please do tell us. Well, they're not trusting us, and the race war didn't help with the Ukrainian girl. We tried very hard to push that one. However, the white people didn't uprise. I know, the race is having a difficult time. More blacks and whites are discussing with one another. Not a good thing. Yes, sire. We need something to install fear. Because when fear is installed in the humans, they look at us for their information. Yes, I love it, sire. And think about how many of you spent 24/7. Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened? Oh my God, what happened? I'm pissed. I want to. Oh my God, and this one, and the lefties, and the thing, and the transgenders, and the Democrats, and the thing, and the Israelis, and the thing, and wait it. They got you. They got you. We have them, sire. They're watching us. You all ran to your outlets thinking you're going to get the answer you want to appease your emotions from this event. They controlled your time, your energy, your reactions, your emotions. Dude, I went to Las Vegas this weekend, which, by the way, you should just go there naked, because I've never... You go to dinner in Las Vegas and you're dropping $200-300 a couple. It was disturbing. And listen, I love my wife. I bought tickets to see the Eagles concert.
This is hilarious.
$800 on StubHub. What really pisses me off is when did it become legal to buy tickets and then sell them as a scalper? Dude, like, you can't buy tickets. You got to go through scalper organizations. So I got $800. My wife's sitting next to me. I think we're in the third song, and she's like this. After we just dropped $350 for having chicken and like a funky drink, because that's another thing. When did these chefs, like, this is the smash burger chef, and he's the tattooed chicken making guy, and it costs it's chicken. All these cooks, it's chicken and burgers. Stop. I don't care if he's got funky white hair or tattoos, whatever. It's not worth $300 everywhere you go. So with that said, my wife takes an $800 nap. But while I was in Vegas, I was with some other couples. And on my life, every single moment, oh my God, they say the shooter was this. Oh my God, it's a transgender. Oh my God, Trump just tweeted this. Blah, 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 blah. What do you think is really going? You know what? Do you think it sucked you like a vacuum? And they got your energy, they got your time, they installed fear. That's what the monsters want. How do you not see that? Don't you remember 9/11? We ran to the television. Oh my God, who do you think it was? Oh my God, they found the passport. Quack, quack.
And how true is that, right? I mean, and is it a coincidence that this is basically 9/11. 9/10, 9/11, it doesn't matter. It's just these huge events they always happen around April 20th or 9/11. He's right. These are, and I know for a fact that these things are premeditated. There's many people and countries involved in these attacks. They know they do it for a reason. It's not a coincidence that this happened on, basically 9/11. And it's not a coincidence that the government voted to block the Epstein files 3 hours afterwards. It's the people that tell us what to do, they own everything. Technology, psychology, everything. They are the masters of the universe, and they know exactly what to do. And they're very good at making it seem like they don't know what they're doing. So we can always like argue about, well, they, this, that, and the other. But the technocrats that run everything globally, all of us, it's not about, North Korea, Iran, United States, Australia. It's about the rich and the powerful, the puppet masters that run everything. And we run to our devices for answers. They're conditioning us to run to our devices to solve crime. The police aren't doing their jobs because they're not allowed to. And so there's internet sleuths on Facebook. Oh, and I see people that are so dumb. I don't want to call them dumb. I don't know what to call them. Why would you tag the police on a Facebook post? Like, you don't think they fucking see everything? You don't think they already fucking know? You don't think that they've been fucking solving crimes and doing this shit for fucking hundreds of fucking years? It's only because it's an agenda. They're purposely holding back. They see everything with the cameras and the fucking drones and the satellites. They know everything. But meanwhile, people are on Facebook. Oh my God, there was, somebody's, a high speed chase and this and that, or, somebody got robbed and the car was doing 500 miles an hour down, 10 miles of one road. Nothing's done about it. 100,000 people see it. And then people are still tagging the police like, oh, maybe you guys you didn't know about it. Maybe we should tell the police about it. I mean, get the fuck out of here. Gullible. Thank you, sweetie. Osada, don't take it offensively, but it's only happening in the USA. No, I don't take offense to that, Don. I mean, like it's not only happening in the USA. I mean, like in Germany, there were 7 AfD members that were assassinated, all within a short amount of time, within like a week of each other, right before the Charlie Kirk. There's 100,000 people that protested in Britain. There's people in Australia that are screaming they want their country back. It's globally, I'm not sure exactly specifically what you're referring to, Don, but I think globally there's an uprising. Globally they're trying to start race wars. Well, maybe the race war is only here in the United States, but globally I think they're trying to start civil wars. They're bringing That's another thing too. They want to blame this on a leftist trans, which I think is just complete bullshit. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen the Candace thing. She talked to people in, I think his name is Lance Twig or Lance Twigs. That's the transgender person of Tyler Robinson, the shooter, the alleged shooter. They said that there was a huge amount of traffic inside of, because Tyler and Lance Twigs live together, and that house that they live in is owned by Lance Twigs' parents. So Tyler Robinson paid rent to Lance Twigs, and Lance Twigs gave the money to his parents. So they knew what was going on at their house. And there was the whole neighborhood was in an uproar because there was a ton of traffic in and out of their driveway of unknown vehicles the week before, leading up to the shooting. So this is so obvious that, this is an orchestrated event. Multiple people are seen holding, there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 possible locations, 6 possible, no, we'll say 5 possible locations of where Charlie could have been shot from. The official story is the roof. There's 3 people to his right. There's 2 people you can see to his right. And then there's the muzzle flash up above to his right. And then, and right directly in front of him to his left a little bit, there's a guy that they think may have had a palm gun. Whether that's shit's AI doctored, who fucking knows? But there's literally like 5 possible scenarios. Maybe it was all of them. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it was something else. Maybe it was a little micro drone. Maybe it was from fucking space. Maybe it was from somebody in the crowd. Who fucking knows? Maybe he was wearing a bulletproof vest that exploded on him. Maybe they planted a little fucking, some type of fucking device right in his fucking vest. Because it sure looks like it comes from within inside his vest to me too. So there's it's hard. Typing is never the same meaning as it is speaking about. No, 100%, Don. 100%. I totally agree with that.
Hey, look, in the rubble, we found the passport. They're a bunch of extremist Muslims. Quack, quack. But when you watch 24/7, people were pissed. You took your emotions. They took everything. They took your energy. How many of you obsessed? You wake up in the morning to bring your child to school and you're not paying attention because you're scrolling about 24/7 about Charlie. And you're sitting there and like, you didn't call someone because you're upset. And you call someone, all you're talking about is like, I can't believe this happened. And I can't believe this happened. They got you.
That's funny, sweetie.
CNN, Fox, social media, none of it is going to give you the answer you truly need to understand this vicious monster. Your faith. Your God. I can't believe he said God. Yeah, I said it. Your faith, your God, your intuition. That's the only thing that's going to protect your life. Your morality. Whenever these monsters look at me, can you believe it was a this and a this? Me personally, I don't buy a lot of the story. That's just me. I'm not saying not assassinate. I'm not saying that. But like an hour, like, okay, we got everything. We caught him in 33 hours. And we found the gun and we got it and everything's good. Okay. Next subject. What? Show the shooter. Look, he's like a 20-year-old kid. Hey, I'm the one who shot him. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And quite honestly, I don't think we're ever going to know. We're never going to know. But I do know this. Your energy is going to be sucked. Your fear is going to enhance. Your anxiety is going to go up. Your hatred is going to build. You're going to walk away from God. You're going to walk away from your morality, and you're going to allow your energy to get sucked into the monster's vacuum. That's what's been controlling all of humanity forever. Walk away. What's the worst and that's another thing. Don't get upset by the human beings that are saying vile, disturbing things, that are trying to make this political. Political is a nice word for division. That's all it is. It's just division. Political. This is politics. No, it's not. It's division. That's all it is. You're either on the Phillies team or you're on the Yankees team. It's a team. You pick a team, and no matter what your team does, that's it. That's it. It's my team. Doesn't matter. It's my team, and that's that. And we'll kill and we'll fight. It doesn't matter. It's what they want. What's the Matrix say? It's either the blue pill or the red pill. The red pill is just going to offer you truth. That's it. And how hard is the truth? Once you know the truth, is it really going to affect your day if I have love and I have forgiveness and I have faith and morality, and I want to give something to another human being, whether it be a smile, a pat on the back, a hug, even if they're disturbed, even if they hate me, that's the least you can give back. The monster wants he wants to bring that out of you. Yeah. That's how the beast works. And the beast is working right now. Sire, we have them exactly where we want them. And we're going to get into a lot of this. I'm going to show you examples. I'm going to show you videos today. Let the haters hate. Because don't you feel we're at a time in history? Dude, I've been around the world. I spent years in Long Island, years in Harlem. I went to Egypt. I've been to almost every continent. People just want to be people. What did Bob Marley say? All governments are illegal. Well, I'm not sure if I believe that. That's okay. That's okay. Let's keep allowing 300 people to decide who gets to go to war and who gets to kill one another and who gets vaccinated. That's fine. Blue pill, stay in your world. And you'll defend that world. Red pill, I know the truth. I can live on. I can forgive. I can preach love. I can look after each other, and I could turn this noise off. I'm turning the noise off. That was traumatic. It was traumatizing. My question to you is, how does social media allow that trauma video to play that long?
Because they wanted.
How is it? That was on a long time.
They wanted us to see it.
And it was disturbing.
Shooting apples.
Oh!
You know what'll fix that? New fireball blazer.
To say the least. I don't know about you, and I know this is a little twisted part, but I saw this thing in Thailand where this poor zookeeper, it's a zoo where you drive around, and he got out of the car for 1 second, and a pack of lions got him. The lion took him down. Now the crazy part of me, I wanted this. I was like, oh my God! And you see them eating it, but they blurred it out. Go look at violent videos. They blur it out. How do you show that? We were on TikTok Live, and they shut us down the last show. And yet you're allowing that to play over and over? You don't think that's pretty sick, if you ask me. Or was it on purpose? I don't know.
Yeah, of course
but
it
here's
was
the thing about it.
Of course it was on purpose. And that's the thing that that's That's the tragedy of it all, that it was on purpose. Me personally, I've yelled at 2 of my friends that always send me videos, and they know damn well, don't send me something that's all fucked up, at least without warning me, because I don't want to click on some bullshit and be blindsided. The last time my buddy did this to me, this is back when Biden was president and there's so much violence. He sends me a video of, I think it was immigrant harassing an old man, a handicapped old man, and then the old man shot him. Or no, then the police came up and shot the guy in the head. But it was not nearly as graphic as that. But just to even watch that, even if they blur it out, to watch something that like that unfold when you first wake up in the morning. For me personally, I have rules in the morning. I don't like to watch the news or any of that shit when I first wake up. I listen to music. I get myself prepared. If I choose to look at something, I prepare myself for it. It's because I choose to look at it. That's a tactic that they used to traumatize us. They wanted why they wanted us to know. All of those reasons still aren't clear yet. But what is clear is that they wanted everybody to see Charlie Kirk's blood pour out of his neck. That's what they wanted us to see. They wanted us to see the graphicness of it all. Why? And he makes a point coming up in a little bit where at some point you really have to question why. Is it the answer is probably very, very far away from where Charlie Kirk got assassinated at. And then that's when he talks about, them voting to release the Epstein files. But it's way bigger than that. Something of this magnitude, there's so many implications to this. So many opportunities for the power structure to capitalize on our trauma from this in more ways than one. And it's a way, for one thing, Charlie Kirk having the momentum that he did, and I don't, I'm just going to be honest, as much as I do and do not follow this kind of stuff with him, I didn't even know that he owned a company called Turning Point USA until after he was killed. Okay. I didn't even really know he had a show. I seen him on X and people's shows all the time. And when I did see him, I kind of turned it off. I did listen to him once in a while. He just wasn't my cup of tea. I don't like to watch people debate like that. It's just too much noise. I like to watch highlights and formulate my own opinion. So, but for whatever reason, he was so important, and they knew that there were so many of these young people on the college campuses that looked up to him. He had such influence. When they told him that you better start being more pro-Israel, and he's on Megyn Kelly just recently. He never said anything anti-Israel. They just gave him a phone call one day and said, "Hey, we need you to be more pro-Israel," and even Benjamin Netanyahu saying that he invited Charlie Kirk to come to Israel. It's like, what is going on here? Israel is like really, I want to go to war with Israel. I just want to I would like to see the United States just fucking militarily shut them the fuck up and tell Benjamin Netanyahu to eat a dick. He's not the fucking boss of the United States. They fucking donate money through the AIPAC or whatever. And obviously they have some type of hold over this administration, or they have some type of, Israel wasn't in our government when Trump was president last time. They've always been in our government, of course. But not like this, not on this level, not in the Biden level. In the Biden administration, wasn't on this level. This is on a level where they're just basically just openly telling us that, hey, Israel runs us now. And I don't know who who green lighted that? Is it just a hostile takeover? You know, was it a coup d'etat? Was our government just infiltrated? Are they blackmailed because of Epstein? You know, and at this point, you know, it's just so it's so multifaceted, and that's why I started playing this Jim Breuer video, because you get to the point where you're just traumatized, and then you're just going to just make it worse on yourself and the people around you, because you're just going to be like, blah, just like he's saying, you know, you don't get it, you don't understand. You know, no, it was this guy. He was you guys think it was the guy on the roof. No, it was that shooter over on the right. You didn't fucking watch the videos like I did. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody's fucking traumatized. Trying to convince each other that they know more than the other. And the fact is, like he said, they got us. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who fucking shot him. They know who shot him. They know who shot him, and it was an orchestrated event. And you know, the more you look into it, like with the that guy Zinn, I don't know his first name, but his last name Zinn, the bald white guy that they arrested down on his knees, and apparently he was at 9/11 and he was at the Boston Marathon bombing. This guy somehow is at multiple, I'm going to call them staged events. How is that fucking possible? You know what I mean? It just leads to more trauma trying to figure these things out. Continue this video.
About haters. Don't you think we're in a time where we are elevating? And what I mean by that is you're either team truth, team human, or team cynical, team liar, team hater. And that's where we're at. Let these people, we don't know what's wrong with them. I've heard people go, oh, I'm glad it happened. You know that's sick. I know that's sick. But I ain't going to allow a sick individual to infiltrate my emotions. I know that person's sick. There's people in comedy clubs right now. My friend called me up tonight. He's like, dude, the New York comedy clubs, I'm sick and tired. The comics are saying, well, if you speak hatred, you know, that's what happens. Those are sick individuals. Those are individuals that would never look a child. See, we're forgetting about humans. Humans. We got to remember we're humans. Human first. A ball player, you can hate a ball player. I'm a ball player. That ball player is a human. He may have something going on with his wife. He may have a sick child. Maybe that's why he's in a slump.
How to get rid of your junk car today. Step 1, go to pedal.com and enter your car's info. It seriously takes...
What are you trying to say? My truck's junk? Why is this commercial playing, huh? Well, the last commercial that played was Fireball. I don't drink. I definitely wouldn't drink no fucking Fireball. Although I do have Fireball in my cupboard because I made some popcorn last year.
You don't know. Everyone's human. And we're talking about humans here.
If you want to come up, anybody, feel free. We could just chit-chat.
And to have a human being and have anybody, no matter what you believe, to go, glad it happened, they're sick. Don't feed into their sickness. You control that. You control that. You can either allow it to infiltrate you, because then it owns you. You are now owned by that. Can't believe they said that's twisted bastards. I want revenge. I want to king. I want to take care of a king. And
What's up, Don?
How are you?
Good morning, or good evening for you, I guess.
What's it, morning or are they there for you?
It's 3:15 in the morning here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my morning. I have a weird sleep schedule, but I've already been to bed. I get up, I do work, and then I usually take a nap, and then I'll get back up again.
Okay.
Yeah. How you been?
Yeah, so just listening to all this stuff and so forth. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone knows exactly what happened. It's just amazing.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely was definitely was traumatizing. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of those out of all the things that I've ever seen in my life, it really is up there with one of those where I even like I heard one of my friends say that he's 55, 56. He goes, dude, he goes, sometimes I'm just glad that, I'm not going to live forever and I'm going to die pretty soon. And, because and I thought to myself, damn, that's how traumatized people are, right now.
Yeah, but the worst part about it is, Asada, we can live with it. We can cope with it. It's our fucking kids that I'm worried about.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's my biggest fear too. My granddaughter, and yeah, and my daughter, and my kids too. It's just, you're right. It's horrible, man. It's like, because we don't know what the final outcome is. We see the writing on the wall, but they're very good. I mean, for one thing, like all these towers that are popping up everywhere, I think that everybody sees these towers and we're like, you just get this ominous feeling about it. You're like, what the fuck are they doing with all these towers? And now they're
Yeah.
talking about investing here in the United States, almost $2 trillion from between all those big billionaire guys in an AI infrastructure, and where they're going to need all this huge amount of power. And I'm thinking to myself, for what? What the fuck do you guys need all this power for? For what? Well, apparently it's because everything is going to be controlled by AI, I guess. Everything. I don't know how it's going to work, but
What do you think they're pushing EV vehicles out hard? They
yeah.
can shut them down anytime they want, and they can stop your travel, your freedom, everything.
And therein lies the social credit score, right? And it's
Yep.
crazy because I thought about this too. I don't know about there, but here in America, a lot of people for the first time, at least in a long time, lost their jobs for speaking out, and saying, "Oh, I'm glad this happened," and stuff like that, right? And so they were reported to their bosses, and they got canned. And even some big time people got fired from their jobs. So,
How?
but I thought to myself, that's definitely wrong, and I'm definitely I definitely lean towards the side. In fact, I told somebody online on Facebook, I said, I hope something bad happens to you, and I hope you get fired from your job. I literally said that. I'm not gonna lie, just because they pissed me off. I didn't have a conversation with them. It's just what I seen, how disgusting they were about what they wrote about Charlie Kirk. So I said, but at the same time, that's the social credit score. So because you have an opinion about something and you vocalize your opinion, now you can be fired from your job. Your car won't start. You can't access your money. You can't fly a plane. This is what it's coming down to. It's coming down to not only is there not free speech anymore, it's going to be like what happened with Charlie Kirk, where he didn't say anything bad about Israel. He just basically was kind of shying away from promoting them so hard. He was seeing the writing on the wall, and then they made a secret meeting in the Hamptons with him and said, "Hey, man, we really want you to fucking do this," and they offered him a ton of money, according to Candace, and he turned it down. And so this is what happened. I don't know.
Eliminate your competition. That's all it is.
Yes, eliminate your competition, and so many implications that like they never let a crisis go. I can't remember that saying, but yeah, no, they voted down the Epstein thing that day.
That'll
Yeah.
never get released, Asada, because there's too many corrupt politicians, presidents, ex-presidents, high up people involved. Okay, and that'll just bring, not for anything, and I'm not knocking America, but that'll probably bring America to its knees if that gets released.
No, 100% it will, because we're ran by pedophiles over here.
Not
but
only there, even here, but you know what I mean?
yeah, no, 100%. But here's the thing: the fact that they did that, and and you're right, and I totally agree with that. But they voted to not release the Epstein files 3 hours after Charlie Kirk was shot. So, what level of corruption are we talking about here? I mean, obviously, it was an orchestrated hit. This is an orchestrated hit, whether it was through literally the bullet came from space or it wasn't a bullet and it was an explosive device planted on him ahead of time. However, they got him, it was not some trans shooter on the roof who ran down and put his gun in the woods. He laid it all out in text messages to his boyfriend, trans boyfriend too. No killer is going to do that. You're not going to assassinate somebody and then lay out all the details to your trans boyfriend in a text message right afterwards.
True.
Well, you know what I'm saying? It's so, but so at what level of corruption are we talking about? So is it just a coincidence to the people in Congress that they knew they were going to vote on this, and then lo and behold, Charlie Kirk gets assassinated right before that? Because if you make it to Congress, you're not fucking stupid. You know all about this. You know how this shit works. And when something like this happens, you already know what time it is. So is it where, you know what, I better just keep my mouth shut because I made it to Congress and I'll never get fucking funding again, and I might be, or whatever, or that, you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely corruption there, but at what level are we talking about?
Asada, it's called toe the line or pay the consequences. It's all it boils down to.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's exactly what it is. When you take an oath, you aren't taking an oath to the people. You're taking an oath to the back of the house.
Yep. I still can't get my head around how he was shot, because he sat in a high chair underneath a gazebo. So if you're sitting on the roof to shoot, pointing downwards, you're not going to see him. So how the fuck did they shoot him in the neck without penetrating through the gazebo and making an accidental shot?
100%. And then they're saying 30-06 from that far away. And then where's the exit wound? I mean, wouldn't there be blood splatter like all back behind him, like kaboom? Like, you're going to see like massive damage behind him. Like half his fucking body is going to be blown out. That's not what happened. No, you're right. It's impossible for that to be the scenario. And Cass Patel, the FBI director here, I don't like that guy. I don't know anything about how that stuff works, but I think that people are saying he's going to be the first person fired from the Trump administration, and whatever. I don't know. It's inexcusable that this is, again, another question about the level of corruption, because Trump was 2 assassination attempts, and what happened to him in Butler, it would be a no-brainer that, okay, you're going to have at least somebody at the highest vantage point, no matter what, at least one person, right? So that, and there's only one gunman you're going to see that guy immediately. And then you could have drones up there. You should have at least 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drones up there controlling the perimeter. They have all, you know what I mean? Like, they have all this autonomous technology. And for a high profile event, like you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars that company is worth. So it just doesn't make any sense. It's an orchestrated hit. And what boggles my mind is that, like you're saying too, it's, the penetration of the gazebo. We don't know. And that's where, why I like Jim Breuer's take on it, because then you're going to get to the point where everybody is just at each other's throats, and that's what they want, because they, but it just boggles my mind that they could do this to us in front of the world, and it could be from behind him. They're saying it's the roof. It could be a transgender. It could be this. And it is, you know what? It's probably gonna be like the Epstein files. Will we ever know? I don't think so. I think if
we never know.
We won't, right?
No. Look at a classic example, the KGB, whatever. When they wanted to assassinate someone, look how they used to get rid of them, and you could never trace anything back. Anything on how they died.
That's the you know.
The
And
problem is the world has too many people that hate and want bad on people than the opposite.
yes, 100%. And people are easily influenced, especially
Oh,
the
definitely.
and so it's definitely on purpose, in my opinion. Like the overall temperature and theme, the themes that they've came out with and given us, the way they've chosen to educate our kids, the things they've chosen to put on TV and stuff like that, it's all part of a plan. It's all part of a plan to bring us to this point, this point of submission, to where now I get see no evil. Good morning.
It's real.
I heard something the other day where they say that we're always willing to give up our freedoms for security. And I think that this is one of those cases where you talk about the ignorant masses. People are, they're going to come out with solutions for us. Well, and people are like, yeah, keep us safe, keep us safe. I don't know how it's all going to work.
Yep. You're not corrupted until you end up in power. Once you're in power, you become so corrupt, it's not funny.
And even if you are a Charlie Kirk or a Candace and you turn down donations and you just try to just be for pro-America, at least over here, just try to build up America from the ground up, they will either sue the fucking shit out of you like they do Candace Owens and Alex Jones,
Or knock you down, keep knocking you down.
knock you down. They'll shadow ban you, kick you off YouTube, and then if they have to, and they'll have a secret meeting and offer you $150 million like they did Charlie Kirk, and if you don't take it, well, this is what happens.
Yep. I don't think this is the end of it.
No, 100% it's not.
The guy that they say that did the shooting, I think he's not mentally stable, number one, or he's after the fame.
The guy who did the shooting? Are you there saying from the roof? You mean Tyler Robinson?
Yeah, as presumed shooting.
Yeah, definitely a patsy, right? I mean, he can't be. I mean, whether he actually he definitely could have had a gun and been on the roof. I mean, anything's possible. But was he the only one involved in this? There's no way. It's impossible, right? I mean, Charlie is the type of man I would think most parents would want their daughters to marry.
Classic example of Sada is Oswald. They pinned it on Oswald. He shot Kennedy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they got rid of him quick and smart before he opened up his mouth.
Yep. Yeah, and that's that exactly. And same thing with the one in Butler, Pennsylvania. The guy that's allegedly shot at Trump, he was burned and cremated within 24 hours. They and another tactic that they use, and they're using this tactic on two different people. I can't remember who the other one was, but they're using it on Tyler Robinson. They found kitty pee, child pee on his computer.
Mm.
They always use that for these patsies and for the people that they need to take a fall. They will load. I don't know exactly how they do it, but they get them with that. Really?
Make up a lot of shit just to make them look real bad.
Yeah. Are we really to believe all this? So he's got a transgender boyfriend. He's got child pee on his computer. He was radicalized by this and blah, blah. I mean, come on, man. And then, I don't know.
Yep.
So.
Look, I go through it every day, and you probably go through it every day too, aside of being in business for yourself. How many people are out there to fucking knock you down and talk shit and bad about you because they don't want to see you succeed?
Oh, 100%. And this a lot of here in Washington State, where I'm surrounded by the left and the liberals and the transgenders, and that's what we have here. And so when I supported Trump on Facebook, and I lost 150 followers in 24 hours when he got shot last year. And So this time I learned my lesson. I didn't say anything, but
Yeah.
it got. Go ahead.
My dad said to me, and I've always lived by it. He said to me, "There's three things in life you should never talk about. It always cause conflict, arguments, and a lot of other things: religion, sex, and politics."
No, 100%, and I totally agree with that. And here's the thing: I feel like I never talk about politics, and that day was no exception. What I did was I printed out stickers of Donald Trump and I put them on a lemonade cup, and I put a post on Facebook, and I said that if you would like a free Donald Trump sticker when you buy a lemonade from me, just ask me and I'll put one on there. And I did it because from my heart, a man almost was killed that is trying to lead our country. He wasn't president yet, right? And there's the people on Facebook are like, oh, they missed and this, that, they don't get reprimanded, but I got reprimanded. You know what I mean? But like you said, people are so quick there's nobody on there. Nobody on there was like, oh yeah, no, I'm with you. And I understand. And, but there's lots of people on there that are, oh, you know what? Maybe it's time we don't buy from you anymore. And the guy that said that to me, I told him to go fuck himself, and then I blocked him right away. I told a lot of people to go fuck themselves that day. But you're right.
My son turned 18 last year. This year was the first year he became eligible to vote. And he said to me, "Dad, who are you voting for? Labor or Liberal?" I said, "Listen, what I vote for, in all honesty, is none of your business, and what you vote for is none of my business, okay? But just remember one thing, whoever you vote for, make sure you vote for the right reason and not because people tell you to vote for that person."
100%. Yeah. And it's hard to do these days because, at least here in the United States, they have fully taken over the universities. And so, you know what I mean? And it's so outrageous that, there's a couple of times when kids really, really need the proper, guidance. And it's like they're very young, like before the age of 5. And then when they're in college, I mean, that's when they're really, getting that
susceptible.
Yeah, it's their ideologies from which we were saying. These are all great points, and the fact that they do a deep scrub of their social media presence and have zero evidence on them is just suspicious. Yeah, with AI and everything now, there's so much going on. I truly believe that one of the very first video that I seen of Charlie Kirk getting shot showed his T-shirt with a hole in it, and then you could see black underneath of it, and that's why a lot of people were speculating that he had a chest plate on, a bulletproof vest, and even so much so. No,
he didn't.
He mentioned it on, but it was even mentioned on the PBD podcast. Okay, but this is the takeaway from this, because the first time that I heard that Charlie Kirk got shot, my buddy sent me. He goes, "Hey." He sent me something on Messenger. He's like, "Hey, did you hear Charlie Kirk got shot?" And I said no, and he sends me a link, and I click on it, and the camera view is from far away, and it shows Charlie Kirk get shot. It does not show the neck and the blood. It shows a hole open up in his shirt, his white T-shirt that says freedom, and underneath of it is black. Okay. I'm thinking, what the fuck is that? It's like, I said to myself, hopefully he has a bulletproof vest on. Well, obviously we know what happened. Well, then I seen a picture of him earlier that day, and he had a black T-shirt on. Okay. So it's quite possible that he just put this white freedom T-shirt over his black T-shirt. But this is my point. I swear I seen a video of him getting shot on the front. It's the very first time I heard it. And then they took it off the internet, and I cannot find it anywhere. And now they're saying that never happened.
Two kill shots, Asada. One is to the neck, hit an artery, and you die instantly. The second shot to kill a person instantly is straight to the heart.
Yes, exactly. And so, was there a device? I mean, we don't know. And here's the other thing: they rushed him into an SUV, not an ambulance. They rushed him into an SUV and took him to the hospital. allegedly.
Mhm.
That alone is suspicious. Everything is suspicious.
Was there a police escort that opened up all the gateways all the way down to the hospital or not?
That I don't know. All I know is they put him in a black SUV, and I seen one cop telling camera people to get back, get back. They had like 6 or 7 people carrying him. It was so staged. It was either staged or it's premeditated. I mean, honestly, half of me, and I'm just going to be completely honest, half of me thinks that Charlie Kirk is playing poker with Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden and Tom Petty and all these other people that they just faked their deaths to traumatize us. And then the other half of me thinks that, you know, it's just a well orchestrated hit by the same people that always kill people, you know, and we're never going to find out who it is. I mean, either way, like Jim Breuer said, for a while, they got us, man. I'm not going to lie. They traumatized me over this. They really did. Bad. So, and I think,
celebrating death is not on. I don't care who it is, like them or hate them or whatever. You just don't go and do what they're doing, not just in America, but anywhere, celebrating his death. Come on.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's unforgivable. It's you know, to even if your worst enemy, okay, let alone somebody that you don't even know personally, so your worst enemy, somebody that actually like punched you in the face for no reason, he was a bully in school, you're not gonna go and kick over their candles and the flowers. Nobody in their right mind would ever do that. You would never even like sneak to the graveyard and be like, you know what, you motherfucker, let me kick. Nobody does that.
What does that say about humanity?
It says a lot, and it says a lot on different levels. It says, you know, at what level of control, of mind control, is there that we don't really realize? I mean, these guys are just, you know, it's not like you have hundreds and thousands of these lunatics that are just acting just on, you know, pure individual free thought. They're, you know, they're all indoctrinated and being brainwashed by some type of fucking, you know what I'm saying?
And if you don't toe the line, you're an outcast.
Exactly. You know, the way that they do that is so well orchestrated. It's just as well orchestrated as the hit on Charlie. Just you know what I mean? It's very well planned, thought out. You know, it's a rich man's trick, and us, you know, have nots. We don't never figure out how the rich men work their tricks because they have all the technology. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Sad.
Well, the next world war, in all honesty, would not be fought by humans. There will be no humans on the ground. It'll be all controlled.
Yeah, you know, and when you say that, I always think like, you know, if say a war breaks out, and then that's just a great way to like get humans to give away the last of their freedoms because they release these AI robots, and they're like, you know what, we can protect you guys. Give us the power to protect you. If we could just got to sign a couple of laws and change this and change that, and we'll have the police power. And then the next thing you know, like you can't leave your house without AI robot fucking checking your paperwork and well, we detected that you said this, that, and the other.
Yep.
Oh, what's up, See No Evil?
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Hey, See No Evil.
I think, you know what's funny? How nobody has common decency anymore. Like, don't say nothing. If you don't like the guy, it's okay. But in his death, you got to open up your mouth and say something like terrible like that. That's like disgusting.
It is. No matter who it is, See No Evil, regardless.
Nobody taught these kids any manners.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's not just that they're disrespecting him verbally, it's that they're literally going up and kicking
They're kicking the guy while he's down. Like if a guy's getting in a fight and then the guy goes over while he's asleep, he kicks him in the head while he's down. You know what I mean? It's like, what the frig? And you got the kids that were there, his children were there, I heard, when he was shot.
Exactly.
You got to have like no moral compass, and you have to have like no soul to think that it's okay to say stuff like that. Like no one's ever told these people that that's wrong. don't do that.
It all boils down to, you know, is the upbringing.
You're right. They have no good upbringing, and
Let
I
me
hate
tell
to
you
say it the
something,
wrong
Senior
way, they
Evil.
didn't get any mental help, these kids.
When you're a kid and all that, if you did something wrong, your old man would give you a fucking smack across the back of the head.
Forget about it. Even your parents, your neighbors can hit you if you were wrong.
And you learn from that, okay? That's what's missing nowadays. And I'm not for brutality or whatever the case may
No.
be, but you can't even smack your child anymore now because you'll get locked up.
You're right. But you know what's silly is that everybody's defending those people versus saying they're wrong.
Yeah, you
Yep.
can't discipline your kid physically, but they can tell your kid it's okay to, you know, change genders and all that other nasty crap.
And the hypocrisy,
Yep.
like you're saying, oh, the Black Lives Matter wasn't riots; those were peaceful protests. It was $6 billion in damage. People were killed, and tons of stuff burning behind the reporters, and they're going peaceful, very peaceful.
There's no such thing as a peaceful protest, regardless what it is.
No protest is going to get anything good out of it. You know what it is? Doing that is just going to cause more stuff that's going to ruin your cause. Rather than just do like he's doing with these people, having like dialect and having like, you know, conversation, prove him wrong. If you prove him wrong, he was cool with that. But they were not that they weren't educated, they were indoctrinated.
Yeah, classic examples, you know, back in our days, if we were into a fight, we used to fight fists. As
Right.
soon as you drew blood, that's it. That's game over.
Right. If the guy's down,
Now,
you don't keep going on. You leave, it's done.
Nowadays, it doesn't happen. If you draw blood nowadays, the guy walks away, comes back half an hour later with a knife or a gun.
Well, you know, the whole thing is that these children or people, whoever they are, just don't have any decency, and they don't realize that their opinion shouldn't be said if it's going to hurt the parents or the kids or anybody. Like, you have no class whatsoever.
Mm.
Yeah,
Terrible.
it is.
I didn't even know the guy Charlie Kirk, and I felt like I lost my nephew.
I used to always watch all of his stuff on YouTube. But the guy,
I didn't believe everything he
not for
said,
any,
but the whole thing is he
I
said
didn't.
it when it didn't get. They were saying he was spewing bad shit. I haven't heard one bad thing come out of the guy's mouth.
I just found him fascinating just to listen to how he would talk back to someone when they were abusing the shit out of him,
With no
knocking
emotion.
him down, and he would turn around and say, "No, hang on a minute, blah blah blah," and he would debate it.
It was funny how they came up to try and like yell at him, but they never did any like research or got any like their stuff together to have a good argument. Every time they went up there on emotion.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
They never had a good leg to stand on. They might have had like their you know feelings, but they cannot take someone else's side and go, all right, well that's your opinion. Okay, I respectfully like believe what I believe and you believe what you believe. But they had to get so vicious on him. Oh, you didn't go to college. What does that mean? He was telling you if you go to college and you're going to get a degree, why you got to take basketball even if you're going to be a doctor?
Yep.
And if the
And
guy's
you know
gonna
what?
teach you, and the guy's going to teach you business, he should have owned the business before he teaches you business.
I agree with him. Uni is not the only thing because there's a lot more people out there that never went to uni, are more intelligent, more
It's well
more
read. If you're
wealthy.
well read, you're even more smart.
Street smarts always outdo university smarts.
And if you read and a lot of people, if they listen or they watch, they learn better with hands-on versus having someone talk to them in an auditorium.
I don't know what it's like in America, but here in Australia, I'll give you an example. In schools, they brainwash you that you have to go to fucking university, you have to do this, you have to do that. When we're screaming in Australia for tradesmen,
You know what? That's sick.
Yeah.
you can't find fucking plumbers, electricians.
You're right, and that's going to be the next big millionaires because those guys are needed. They're needed trades.
And the issue is when you, in 20 years' time, need to get a light globe changed and you can't do
There's
it,
going to be nobody.
they're going to charge you fucking $300 just to change a fucking light globe.
They do it now. They charge you just to come to the house a fee to get there, and then when they go there, if they do a job, they take it off the bill. But the point is that they get mad. Oh, it only took you an hour. Why is it costing so much? It's not how long it takes; it's his knowledge.
Do you know what pisses me off the most? a tradesperson can make more money than a professional and charge more, but a qualified professional can't charge as much as a tradesperson nowadays.
Wait, explain that to me.
That's what EXP.
That's what's happening down where you are?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
I didn't either.
Tradespeople, tradespeople here.
Oh, you mean
If you can-
tradespeople? I heard something else, dude.
Tradespersons,
I heard trans. That's what I heard.
No, tradespersons.
Okay.
Do you know
sorry.
here that a tradie can make a shitload more money than a qualified person?
You know what's funny? I believe that those guys are the people who put this world together. They should be getting more money than a baseball player who goes, "You got that guy in the center field? Oh, you missed it? Get it next time. Here's $20 million."
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that, and they think that their superiority and their opinion should be more valuable than a guy who gets up in the morning and busts his ass. They call him privileged. Meanwhile, that guy is the one paying for the people who are on freedom, government assistance.
Right.
You know,
Do you know
you're
what-
talking about privilege. You're wearing Nikes that are $200. These guys out there with freaking broken boots.
Do you know I go through this on a regular basis every time we look for qualified accountants? Okay, a lot of these graduates come out of university applying for jobs. They've got all the experience. They've got jack shit, and we say to them, "What do you want? What's your starting salary?" "Oh, 150 grand." Are you
That's what they
fucking
want.
serious?
They're CEOs already.
Because this is what they tell them at university.
Dumb. They don't know their value. That they have to start somewhere.
Yep.
But the point is, when they get there, they don't even think that what they're doing. Anybody that says, "Oh, I only want to work 40 hours. I want to work from home." Wait a minute. That's not entrepreneurial thoughts. You don't work 40 hours. You're going to be staying average if you do that. That's not how you become. And they get mad at someone who gets rich who does 90 hours a week. But that guy's doing it because he's focused on what he wants to be.
Yeah, Sada, yeah, classic example. You're like me. You work so many hours, okay? Now, you turn around and say, "I want $30 for this bar of chocolate." And they look at you, they go, "You're fucking nuts." But hang on a minute. Look at all the time I spent making this chocolate. Look at all the ingredients and so forth. They don't take that into account.
Right? They don't see the before game. They only see the end game.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't really have that problem. Maybe with the Dubai bars, I heard that because it's a $20 chocolate bar for sure.
It's imported from Dubai.
Right.
I mean, that part doesn't equate, right?
Yeah, I'm over those Dubai bars, say the truth. But for me personally, my philosophy is I just try to outwork everybody in my, like, even when there's other people that do what I do at an event that I'm at, I can usually charge a lot less than anybody else just because I work a little bit harder. You know what I mean? I take that into account. But yeah, in fact, I heard that last Saturday. Somebody walked by me with their kid and they're like, the kid said, "Why was it cost so much?" And because you have to pay for their time. That's what the mom said. So.
Well, everybody doesn't realize that you have a time. Your time is valuable, and they don't realize
Exactly.
that you're doing everything.
Well,
you got to know your worth, and if they don't sell, then you don't sell them no more.
Yeah, no, 100%. Time is valuable, and in the vending world, at least here, it's all ends of the spectrum.
And they don't understand. You got to pack the cars. You got to do a whole thing just to get them there, so they can buy them.
Well, 100%. But there's, for example, I do caramel apples. My plain caramel apple is $5, and I just had somebody put on Facebook last week. They literally said my apples are 1,000 times better than the fair's apples because we have the state fair going on right now. And there's people that charge. I think the fair charges
like $8.
I think they charge $9 here for their caramel apple. And then I know people. There's a lady at one of the events that I go to. She charges 2 for $25.
What for caramel apples?
Yeah, 2 for $26.
Well, I guess you're only selling 2 when you're going to sell a dozen.
Right.
I'll tell you. I'll give you an example. Go on, Asada. Carry on.
Well, I'm just saying, I could definitely, and I'm going to charge a little bit more for Halloween, but there's some people out there. It's in free market and competition, anybody can jump into the caramel apple business, and anybody can take her out of business. You know what I mean? But because I think we've gone to a point now where we have these arrogant rich people that feel just so entitled to just charge these exorbitant fees for everything, including like, I don't know if you heard Jim Breuer talking about the Eagles, $800 for Eagle tickets. There's no good talent out there anymore. And why are we paying $800 for a band that was popular back in the 1970s?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. And it's because, and how much money are the Eagles actually getting out of that? Probably a fraction. It's all going to these, middlemen and scalpers. And
they're probably just getting a salary.
Exactly. So we've gotten to the point where there's just a handful of people that control everything. They have all the money, and they just want to that's what's going on right now.
They're being too greedy, and they don't understand that if you're gonna want to make the money the way you want to make it, you got to make it fair.
And then this technocratic government that's doing this to us, when they get somebody like Charlie Kirk that's going to expose them for whatever reason, they see it coming, they take him out, and then nobody knows nothing. It could be from the roof, it could be from here. Well, the transgender, and yet they vote down Epstein 3 hours later. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that are just sitting back right now, just watching us fucking spin our wheels. You know what I mean?
I would be upset if it was anybody that did it. Doesn't matter where they're with, the left, right. If anybody does that kind of harm or serious injury or killing somebody just because you don't like what he says, that's a mental problem. Number one, and you don't go, well, he's mental, so there's no excuse even if he's mental. If he is mental, he should have had help. The problem is nobody got the help.
Why help someone when it costs money?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, and I really truly believe that it was an orchestrated attack, and it is very sad what happened to Charlie Kirk. But what's even sadder is the fact that this was a global shift. This globally traumatized a lot of people, and it probably traumatized a lot of kids. And that's the really sad part about this, is that it was an attack on humanity. It wasn't just an attack on Charlie Kirk. It was an attack on all of us. And the thing is that none of us really knew who he was or paid attention to him. And I know I didn't. It doesn't matter because he was a human and he represents all of us. Any one of us could. I sit in a gazebo. I sit in a 10 by 10 tent at least 2-3 times a week. And, I'm not debating people, but I'm like, I do have people like, wow, $20 for a chocolate bar. Well, I don't want somebody to fucking pull out a gun and fucking shoot me. That'll never happen. People don't shoot you for the price of a candy bar. But when you're traumatized to that level, you just don't, you know what I mean? Globally, right. This is going to get to the point where, what's going to happen? Somebody's like looks at somebody wrong and, they fear for their life. And, I don't know. I don't know the answers, but it's not good when they do this shit to us, guys.
You can have an opinion, but you gotta cut the crap.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta know your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So that's boundaries because no one's ever been told to stop it.
Yeah, 100%, and that's why I loved this Jim Breuer video. If you guys,
I watched it. I saw it. Yeah,
I watched that. Yeah,
he's good. And you know what? He's not trying to be a dick about it. He's just trying to say, think for yourself.
100%. Well, and it's just a little bit of therapy that people could use during, like right after that traumatic event. I know I could, because it's funny. He was like, you got to take a break from it. You got to walk away from it. And when I watched this last night, I found myself listening to him. And then I found my brain like, okay, but I got to listen to Owen Schroyer, who was like, he's like, okay, we're going to analyze this video again. And, I'm sorry, guys.
There's no analyzing. He just said he did it.
So yeah, so it's good to hear from people like him, rational people like him. Sometimes. Well,
the sad thing about it is that people are so desensitized from like this being wrong that they don't have the capabilities to say, well, really, they should have killed him. No, you're not supposed to. But when they lose their jobs because they make a ruckus online or whatever, why am I getting fired? Well, the whole point is that you got no moral compass and you're being evil. That's it.
100%. And in this world now, you have these people that, they're moral. You're right. The morality is gone. What they want, what some of these people, what they cannot live without are clicks and views.
You're right.
And when people get a taste of, the fame or the money that can be generated. It's like gold rush fever. It's like they feel like they can get something for nothing. All they have to do is move the needle. And and there's a lot of people that are really good at agitation and all that kind of shit. And so, you know what? Let me go fucking kick these candles over. Let me throw a beer on somebody in front of me at the football game.
What about that lady from Ukraine that was killed by the black guy? That everybody just took the cameras out and videoed it. They didn't stop it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then they walk over it. That lady was, and then someone goes, well, it wasn't because she was white. He actually said, I got the white lady. What do you mean he's because she's white?
No, 100%. And and that
you got to stop being afraid to say the truth.
100%. But that, stopping that huge black man that could pretty much without a knife kill anybody on that train if he really wanted to. This is part of
grab the lady and run.
Yeah, it's
don't you have to fight the guy, get her out of there.
No, I 100% agree. The problem is that when you have the masses and you're going to count on the masses to act, and you make it to where every violent criminal gets let out of jail, there's no reward in society.
Right. The paperwork's done before the cop's paperwork's still being done. He's out.
If you are in your house and you try to defend yourself, you're going to have to go to court and explain yourself if you don't want to go to jail. It should be a no-brainer that, wait a minute. The guy entered my house without permission in the middle of the fucking night when I was sleeping, and I shot him, and now I gotta explain myself so I don't go to jail.
I'm gonna give you something I told my family. Okay, if anything ever happens that's very serious, do not try to articulate your own story to justify what happened. Just say, I want a lawyer and I want to go to the hospital. I don't feel good, because your right is not to say zero. They have a body cam on, and you're going to indict yourself by saying anything.
That's 100%.
And get the lawyer to write it up properly, and then you read off the lawyer's paper the right way. Because if you try to go, well, this is what happened, you indict yourself, and it's on camera.
Yeah, you make sure you drag the body inside the rest of the house, and then call it.
Whatever you got to do, but just when the cops get there and go, what happened? And go, I don't even want to talk about it. Get me a lawyer. I got to go to the hospital. I feel like I'm having a heart attack. That's it. Because if you say anything after that, you can't take it back. It's on the body cam.
Now, in the real world, in a perfect world, there would have been a mob of people waiting to literally just kill that guy outside of the train. This is
they don't want to do it because look what happened to the other guy. The guy that choked out the other guy almost went to jail for life.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying, and it goes back to these people get let out of jail. There's no reward. The good guy's going to go to jail. The good guy's going to finish last. And so when your government oppresses you to that level, then literally somebody can jump up from behind you, slit your throat, and then everybody is just they're paralyzed.
Right. How about the director of the FBI got pulled in front of Congress because he did it wrong, supposedly? They have the audacity to take that guy in front of Congress and grill him and say he's a bad, what do you call, head of the FBI. And he's like, really? He rattled off like all the things that he's done so far that blow away anything that's ever been done in the last person that was there.
Yeah, that's great.
You see what Adam Schiff was trying to do him? He just like really, I was so happy he was laying into.
Yeah, I just have my own thoughts on that. That's just.
Listen, I'm not saying he's perfect, but the guy's not even done with his investigation. You're already busting his chops.
Yeah, 100%. And Adam Schiff, he's got some serious. He's a serious pedophile. There's a documented story about him with a 12-year-old.
I don't understand why these Congress people are allowed to say hateful things and tell them to do an uprising or have civil unrest, and they don't get held accountable. There's a video out there. If you saw it, there's a white guy. He goes, "Here's how you clean up Congress. There's 5 ways to do it." He gives you 5 things. Every one of them is perfect. He goes, term limits, the same as the president. You can only do 2. Then he goes, if you are working for the government, you don't have to fly back and forth and go to Paris and back and forth to D.C. We have Zoom. We don't have to spend the taxpayers' money on that. You're supposed to be where you're at just to do a vote on something. And when you do any kind of litigation and you want to put a bill through, one at a time, not 80 of them, and make them feel bad because there's something about old people in there and it's going to give Ukraine another $1 billion. Then the other thing, he goes, you're not allowed to have any insider trading. And the other thing, if you want to raise, get the people that you're representing money in their pocket, then you show your value. You'll get a raise then. And the last thing he says, which is a good one, he goes, I'm trying to think how you put it. He goes, if you're in the government and you're serving the people, anytime that you go on camera, you are considered under oath. And if you lie, you should be held accountable for perjury.
Well, they had a great conversation on Joe Rogan yesterday with Matthew McConaughey.
I didn't get to watch it. It was good.
And I'm not a huge fan of Joe Rogan anymore. I think he's kind of a shill. But yeah, it was all right. They had a good conversation about AI. And they've had this conversation on the show before. And the question always comes up, is AI with the corruption, the level, and is this on purpose? Because they always get us to beg for what they want us to do. It's another rich man's trick. Are they purposely corrupting the government so bad that they want us to vote for AI to take over the government? Because if you have somebody that's completely non-biased, straight down the middle, never left or right, they never make a mistake in their decision making. They have everybody's best interest computed in their algorithm, and then they speak. Would you vote for that over these dirty motherfuckers that have sex with kids and
I'd have to do a deep dive in my own thoughts about that. I can't answer that right. I would love to have that and people that representing us, but I don't trust the AI.
No, I don't either. But this is the thing. This is how they're going to get us, though. They're going to force it down our throat, but they're going to make us feel like, this is the safer route to go.
I don't get the fact that they go into office and they make about $175,000 a year, and if you save every dollar and do 40 years as a congressman, senator, whatever it is, you're still not going to be worth $100 million when you get out. That's totally like what they're doing, and they put Martha Stewart in jail for that.
Again, yeah, and again, an AI government doesn't take donations. They're not
right. They're working for nothing.
Don, what's your opinion on AI government?
I don't like it, to be honest. I see it's going to be even more corrupt world. And
you're right.
It's not going to be for the good. It's going to be for the bad, the evil.
The funny thing is, they're making these robots that look like they can do the same like movements as people, like they're fluent, like flexible, like they don't walk around like robots. They've actually got like a rhythm.
Yeah, and they're a lot more advanced. And they're leading us to believe too.
They're way ahead of us. They're totally. We only seen a new iPhone comes out. They already got the one that doesn't break. I mean, they make these things out of glass that if you drop it, it breaks. You don't think they have something that can't break? Like, you're never gonna get the best stuff, because if they did that, no one's gonna get new phones. It's like if they got a car that never broke, they're never gonna get a new car. If they did cures for any kind of disease, there's no money in cures.
Yep, 100%.
Why bring out the cure when it is already out there?
Right.
Because the people will live longer, and the governments don't want people to live longer because it costs them money to keep them.
Well, what I don't like is that when they actually say something that's ridiculous, like, "Oh, the tariffs are people are gonna die now." You can say something with no facts, but if someone says, "I think that jab is gonna cause something bad," oh, he's misinformation.
Yeah, it's that's the point we've gotten to. Well, hey guys, I'm gonna end it. Tommy's on right now, and I gotta get to.
Listen, Osada.
Okay, guys.
You have my numbers, Osada?
I have you on Messenger. I'll hit you up. I did want to talk to you, so
I gotta ask you a question too. You have my number, right?
Yeah.
All right. When you get a chance, you text me first, because everything usually goes to the it doesn't show up because I got like a spam block. So if the phone's not in my the number's not in my contacts, I don't get it.
Okay. Right
Well,
on.
Don, have a great day, dude.
Yeah, you too.
How do you get off now with this?
He dropped him.
He figured it. He figured it out.
All right. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Have a good one. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you later. Go watch Tommy Sticks.